coin collectors out there, and welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today, we have a really interesting question for you, and that is, can a U.S. quarter be worth less than 25 cents? And that's what some people have asked us. They say, hey, we saw this one listed on Numista or one of the other sites, and it's a 1983 quarter or 1984 quarter, and it says it's listed for 22 cents instead of 25 cents. Can that be right? And it turns out that it kind of can and can't. What happens is, if you are in a foreign country and you have a U.S. quarter, it may be of very little value to you to have, just have a couple of them. So that if you were going to try to sell this U.S. quarter right here, and if you see this one, let's take a look at this one really up close. This is one that just came in pocket change. It's a 1984. It almost looks like it says 34 on there because it's so beat up, but it's not a 34. It's an 84. And we see this from the Denver Mint. It says Liberty at the top. You can almost read it. It says In God We Trust here, 1984. And then the D over here for the Denver Mint. We see that it is a copper nickel-clad copper because of the reeded edge, and we can see the dark brown of the copper. And we get over onto the back, and we see it's discolored on the back also. It says United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum, and then down here it says quarter dollar, and we see that there's very little detail. You can't even see any of the body feathers for the eagle here. Hard to see. There's supposed to be a ribbon that goes across here holding the arrows, and you can't see them. You can tell that this is an arrowhead probably, but you can't really even tell that this is a feather. And when you look at the olive branches, just hard telling that it's an olive plant at all. So when we look at this coin, and look how smooth down it says, this is worth 25 cents in the United States. Whether it's worth 25 cents in the United Kingdom, that's a whole nother question. And whether you should pay 25 cents for a coin of this nature in the United Kingdom or in France or Germany or wherever, Philippines, probably not. Because unless you're going to get back to the U.S., it's not going to do you much good. There's very little metal value in any of these, partially because it's copper, nickel-clad copper, and so you've got a couple different metals. You'd have to separate them out. It'd be really hard to do. The same goes for this one. This one looks a lot better, doesn't it? This is a Philadelphia Mint quarter from 1984. We see the P here for Philadelphia. And if we look here, we see, well, it's supposed to say, In God We Trust, but this whole rim has been smoothed down. Is this a defect? No, this is just a worn out quarter. What about the P that's filled? No, just a worn out quarter. So 1984 does say Liberty. You can read that. And of course, you can still see the reeded rim and the copper, nickel-clad copper. We get over to the back. Still not much there. You can see a little bit more detail in some of these under feathers, a little bit better beak, and you can almost see the eye. United States of America, pluribus unum. And down here you can see maybe one of the olives in the olive branch sticking out. See if we can see any on this side. Not really, just that one right there. So this olive branch does have olives in it. There's another one. And we'll see that when we look at a proof version of this. Quarter dollar at the bottom. So the 1984 P and D quarters that you find in general circulation are going to be of almost no value. P for Philadelphia, D for Denver. Of no value to you if you're not in the United States, or unless you have a bunch of them. But they're kind of heavy to carry around. So if you want to collect these, yeah, you could easily probably get them for a little under 25 cents in a foreign country. You might be able to save 3 or 4 cents on them. When would these be valuable? Probably never, but if you did get this in an uncirculated MS-65, in other words, you could see everything on it, and it was not worn down at all, and there wasn't any of this sides, and you could see the full rim. In an MS-65, even these are in really, really, really good condition and have been certified, you're still only going to be talking about possibly, $12 to $14 list value in the U.S. Coin Digest. But what people are actually paying for them is somewhat less than that. I think you could get an MS-65 right now for a 1964D for probably $10, $9 or $10, maybe a little under. And for a For an 84p, the same thing. Now, what would a good coin look like? Well, we're going to take you right to the proof set. So this is a United States proof set from 1984. You see the Kennedy half, the Lincoln penny. Look at the red on that penny. This is a nice proof set. The Jefferson nickel, the Roosevelt dime, and you can see the S on there. And then we get down to this one, and wow, this is what a proof coin looks like. And you see that they do a different kind of buffing on the head of the coin, the Washington head. Look at how easily you can read Liberty, and you can see the little style lines on here. You can see the hair. This here is just from the plastic casing. You can see the S. Look at that S on there. Nice S. 1984. Funny looking 9. And you really can't tell that so much from some of these coins. So let's look at the 9 on this one. Yeah, it just looks like it's all got smoothed down. It turns out that that's really how they made the 9. See, it's not much different here. And from the 1984, the 1 is actually a funny little number too. If we turn this one on its side, which we can't because it's in the packaging, we'll see that this is a copper nickel-clad copper. There are two different kinds of proof sets. There is the United States proof set and the United States silver proof set. And this is simply the proof set, not the silver. If we flip it over onto the back, we see, now that's what I'm talking about when you can see the detail in the eagle's body feathers and feathers. Look at the feathers come down through here. Look at the eye. Now this one is a little funky. The unum almost touches the eagle's head, but look at these feathers here, and then look down in here and we can see some of the olive-like things down here. Look at the ribbons that cross underneath the eagle's claws in the arrowhead and the feathers. You can actually see the feathers. And down here, $quarter. So if you get a proof version of this coin, it's probably worth $3 to $5 outside the proof set. And you can probably get the proof set for between $10 and $12, maybe $14. So this coin here, $3 to $5, except for sometimes you get a proof set and open it up and you'll have something that's higher than MS65, and then you have a value. But the assumption in a proof set, it's going to be around a MS65, which is a certification level that says essentially you can see everything and there aren't really any scratches or any dings or on them, at least for 1984. And then here you can see how the outline there is. All right, well, that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. So the answer is yes, you can have a U.S. quarter that's worth less than 25 cents. And if you have some of those, I get all kinds of mail from people saying, hey, I've got that U.S. quarter from 1989. How much is it worth? And they'll be sending it to me from, say, Belgium or something. I'll say it's not really worth anything. It's probably not even worth 25 cents, and it costs more to mail it than it would be to just keep it in your collection. So if you get an old beat-up quarter like this in the United States, spend it. If you get one and you're in a foreign country, save it, because it's probably more worth as a collector value than it is to sell it to somebody for less than its face. All right, have a great day from DC Coin World International Coin Channel, and feel free to subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.